Today's Cosplay Con Talk episode is sponsored by Moco Queen Color Contacts. Don't forget to use my code Wayne for 10% off at checkout at mocoqueen.com. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. How's everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome back to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. I'm here once again for another episode of Get to Know That Cosplayer, and I'm joined here by Cosmic Redfield Cosplay. How are we doing, Cosmic?
I am doing okay, just a little bit tired. What about yourself?
I'm doing all right. So real quick, if you don't mind, introducing yourself, how long you've been cosplaying for, what got you into cosplay, stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. So like he said, I am Cosmic Redfield Cosplay. You can just call me Cosmic for short, if you want. I have been doing cosplay since, well, I was doing cosplay without realizing it was cosplay. Probably since I was like 9 or so. And I would, do the standard, you dress up on Halloween, have fun, trick or treat. But I would kind of go all out with these costumes. And my mom would help me with them too. And I didn't really know that that was cosplay. And that kind of developed into me wanting to dress up as characters outside of Halloween. And I feel like that's when it becomes like actual, like full on, cosplay and stuff. And I was probably around like 10 or 11 or so. And being a little kid, I didn't have money to make these cosplays, and I don't know how to sew. So I would just like take old clothes from my closet and cut them up and try to like tape or pin them, whatever little me could do to make a closet cosplay. Technically, my first non-Halloween related cosplay was Claire Redfield from Dark Side Chronicles. And ever since then, I've just been wanting to continue cosplaying. I love cosplaying so much. It means like a lot to me. And I'm always so excited to go to conventions and see everybody else's really cool cosplays. Yeah. What was the other question?
You pretty much answered like so like officially cosplay. When was your like first official cosplay like for a con and everything?
2015. I had just turned 18. I did a gender bent version of Elle from Death Note. Because I was 18, I didn't have money really. Yeah, not a lot of people recognized me. I went with an ex of mine, and they were, oh man, what's his name? I haven't seen Death Note in so long, but the character that wants to kill Elle with the Death Note, I forget his name. I haven't seen it in so long. But my ex was that, and what?
Light Yagami is the one I can think of. The only other one I can think of is Misa or Mello.
I think it was Light. I think so.
I haven't seen Death Note in years, so yeah.
Yeah, neither have I. That's why I'm like, oh, I forget. Shoot. But yeah, I was cosplaying a gender bent version of Elle, and they were Light, and I was carrying around the apple. And once they bought the apple, we started to get some recognition, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that was in 2015, and that was Emerald City Comic-Con. That was my first one. I only went for one day though. Yeah, and it was really fun, and I just kept going to conventions ever since. At least when I could, when I can afford them.
I mean, conventions aren't cheap. Even your free ones, it still costs to get there at least.
Exactly, like Chibi Chibi Con is free, and it's actually like a really good con for being a college con that is free, but it's a really, really far drive to Olympia.
Oh, I believe it. So you've been doing this for roughly 10 years, as I would call that. You are a cosplay veteran. You've been cosplaying for 10 plus years, going to conventions for 10 plus years. So you've seen the change, especially since you've been going, pre-COVID.
Yeah, yeah. There's been lots of changes with cosplay, and not even just like with the cons, but with like the costumes themselves. There's been so many new like innovations, ways to make cosplays. I remember back when I was like 13 and I was trying to cosplay Lavi from The Gray Man, which I never ended up finishing that cosplay because I was 13. I didn't have money, but I got his like headband off of, I think it was like, was it AliExpress or something like that? You know, one of the few like OG uh web pages where you could get cosplay. Because it was either you built something from your closet or you get it from one of those older Asian cosplay sites where it takes like a month for it to arrive. And I remember at the time, people didn't know the difference between like Asian sizes and like American sizes.
Always go a size or two up.
Yep, I made that mistake trying to also cosplay Rin from Vocaloid. And my cosplay was way too small and I couldn't return it, which was really
Oh
unfortunate.
no.
But yeah, like you can buy cosplays from various different websites of various different qualities. You can commission cosplayers. You can buy secondhand commissioned cosplays from other cosplayers who have, you know, retired their cosplays. You can piece it together out of things from your closet. You can go to a thrift store and piece it together. Like there's so many different ways to cosplay now, and I think that that's really cool.
Oh no, there's definitely a lot. So now real quick question. What made you come up with the name Cosmic Redfield cosplay?
So the cosplay part is very self-explanatory. Um, It's my original name on my Instagram account was actually Desolate Illuminations, and it was an art account to begin with. And I occasionally still post art, but then I was like, I want to post cosplay because I'm following a bunch of cosplayers, and cosplay is sick. And I was really into Steven Universe at the time as well, um, uh, which is where the cosmic part comes from because of like stars, galaxies, gems, things like that. So it comes from Steven Universe because I was like super into Steven Universe at the time. I still love Steven Universe. Redfield, Resident Evil, because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. And there was a few names that were contenders for my new username for for this cosplay account, and I can't remember what the other ones were, but I did a poll on Instagram, and there was like 3 or 4 names to pick from, and this one won. So I was like, okay, Cosmic Redfield cosplay, cosplay for obvious reasons. Redfield because huge Resident Evil fan, and Cosmic
I
because Steven
mean,
Universe.
real quick, speaking of Resident Evil, you're looking forward to Resident Evil 9 coming out next year.
Yes, I am. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm very excited. I'm gonna be completely honest. I haven't beaten 7 or 8 yet, but
Same.
I do know what happens though.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm still really excited for 9.
Nice. So you said your first con was Emerald City back in 2015. What was that like going to which has become a fairly big convention Comic Con up in Washington?
You said what was it like pretty much?
Yeah, well, what was it like going for 18-year-old you going to probably which again is like probably one of Washington's biggest cons, especially in the Seattle area because you got
Yeah.
Sakura, you got PAX.
Oh my God, PAX Line Con. That's really what it is Line Con. um, it was really fun. Like I said prior, I went with my ex, who was my boyfriend at the time. And I remember back in 2015, there was also my cosplay got ruined because somebody had unsealed body paint and ran into me.
Oh
Um,
no.
and it's 2015, so this is before we had a lot of good body paints available to cosplayers and body paint sealers. but my cosplay was ruined, and it was permanently ruined. I did try to get the stain out. That was the only bad thing about the con, though, and that wasn't even the con itself. It was just an incident that happened because of somebody's unsealed body paint. But the con itself was really, really fun. Like, we walked around a bunch and looked at a bunch of the vendors. I got a limited edition Zelda sweater from Emerald City Comic Con 2015, and I still have it and wear it often. I love that sweater so much. I brought some money to buy things, obviously, because it was my first convention. We got some food there and stuff. Food was okay. Con food isn't always the greatest, and it's
And
really
expensive.
overpriced. Yeah, it's
Oh
really
god,
overpriced. It's
I made that mistake at Kumo in 2023, but spending $10 just for a hot dog.
Oh my god, this Kumo just last month, I spent $14 on a fucking coffee. And it's a coffee that I wasn't even gonna digest anyway because I have a feeding tube. So like, I have a GJ because my stomach doesn't work. So I get formula into my intestines, and anything I eat orally just drains out of my stomach into a drainage bag. And so I spent $14 just to have coffee come out of my stomach into a bag. But it tasted good.
Oh man,
But
at
yeah,
least it tasted good.
yeah, it tasted really good, actually. The barista did a good job. But yeah, 2015 Emerald City Comic Con was a really fun time. And it was my first convention. Getting home was a little bit difficult because I didn't drive. I still don't drive. But I didn't drive, so we had to figure out the buses, and it was like late. So that was a little scary, being outside in Seattle like really late. But it was fine. The con was great. Nobody was rude. There was only that one incident with someone's unsealed body paint. But yeah, the con was really great, and I was like, wow, like, this is freaking awesome. Like, I have to do this again, and make more cosplays and go for more of the days. Like, it's hard to just go for one day when you're gonna have you could possibly have fun for an entire weekend. So
Oh no. And that's actually, honestly, a good advice thing too. If you're at a con and you're wearing body paint, make sure it's sealed because, say you're like wearing a cosplay that's very bright color, like white, for example, and that person has like blue or red. Next thing you know, you know, your Freeran cosplay or your Stein cosplay, well, it's gonna have like red, blue. It's gonna look like a rainbow at the end of the day.
yeah, my shirt was white and it was black body paint. I repurposed the top of it and dyed it black and used it for some Lolita chords, but yeah, I that shirt, I couldn't get that stain out, so I just repurposed
Oh
it.
no. On the topic of cons, because usually we have topics for conventions and then cosplays, and then we go to your cosplay, talk about cosplays. So convention, so there's standard convention questions I ask, and I usually ask a follow up. Have you traveled outside of the state for any cons, or you travel like locally for cons?
I've gone to KomoriCon. I don't live in Oregon, so that was me going out of state. But that is the only out of state con I have gone to. I really would like to go to more, but it's so expensive, and since I'm disabled, I don't have income, and so it's like, I was very fortunate to even go to KomoriCon because I got my ticket super early and my friend paid for the hotel, so I was very fortunate. But yeah, I have traveled to Kumo. I usually stay more so within my state, and I don't usually travel more than like 5 hours for a con if we have to drive. Yeah.
Speaking of a follow up, so as you know, as a cosplayer with disability, what is traveling like for you? Because I know it's different for everyone else. They have to bring their wheelchair, they have to bring this, they have to, because I know you have to like, do you have to like prepare ahead of time. And you have to prepare for extra and everything.
Yeah, they're going to cons, especially if you're traveling out of state or having to travel multiple hours within your state to get to a convention when you're disabled is very difficult. And of course, this also does depend on your type of disability, whether it's like a mental one or a physical one, if you need mobility aids, if you rely on machines to stay alive. I personally have I have a port and a feeding tube, and so I'm always hooked up to those. And so that's like I got to bring tons of extra formula
It
and
pretty much is what keeps you alive.
exactly. So I have to bring all of that. Plus, I have to bring like 30 bottles of medication, not an exaggeration, unfortunately. Then I have to bring my wheelchair and my cane. And so that takes up so much room. And so I have to pack very carefully. Like when I went to KomoriCon last month, I really, really, really wanted to bring my Mangle cosplay. Because it would have been perfect since it was around Halloween. But she was just too big. And I couldn't do it because I had to have my wheelchair and my
Oh
cane.
yeah, Mango's a pretty
Um,
big animatronic from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, I don't do the full animatronic thing. I have kind of my own version of her, but I would love to do the like game accurate version of her at some point once I'm better with working with electronics because I would want to make the eyes like move and glow and all of that. But yeah, there's so much extra packing that has to go into traveling to cons while disabled, especially if you have lots of like mobility aids that you need or machines to stay alive.
Oh, I wholly believe it.
Yeah, I had to pack like not only the mobility aids, but I had to pack like 3 extra like duffel bags full of just medical supplies pretty much. And then there was my bins of cosplay that I was bringing. So I had like so much crap. I tell you what though, coming back from con was significantly easier because, you know, throughout the weekend I was using all of those supplies, so I didn't have to come back with as much. But it is complex and it can be very very overwhelming. Yeah, especially if you're tangled in like tubing and wires
Oh
24/7
yeah.
like I am. I'll get caught in that stuff and it like pisses me off. Yeah, it's very complex, but it's possible obviously because I do it and other cosplayers do it. It's just really important to do things that are easier for you. Like if, like for example, I didn't want to have to carry a very large backpack on my lap, um, full of IV fluids and IV medication and feeding tube stuff and all of the pumps and whatnot. So we ended up getting a portable IV pole that connects to my wheelchair, so I could throw all of it up there.
I've seen those.
Yeah, it's on my wheelchair. So that way I didn't have to carry a bunch of stuff and I could wheel myself more effectively to make the, you know, getting around and also just the con in general easier. I also attached like clips to the handles of my wheelchair as well. So if we bought things, we can just put it on there. And again, I don't have to carry all that crap. It makes it easier for me. Um, yeah, just even doing small little things that will conserve your energy or make the con easier and your experience better, is so important.
Oh, I believe do you now is your wheelchair, is it a manual or is it an automatic one?
It's a manual. I thankfully don't need to use it every single day, and I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, it's a manual, and my arms get. I'm kind of weak, so my arms get tired really fast.
I I believe it. Do you have as I call them, convention X buddies, people who go with you, whether it be a handler or friends or something who can help you and everything?
Yeah, I never go to a con alone. Medically, it's not
Oh,
safe for
it's
me.
no, no, it's not wise to go by yourself.
Yeah. Plus, it's way more fun to go with friends
Oh,
anyway. But with
yeah.
my type of health conditions I have, it's it would be very bad idea, and it would be putting myself in danger if I went alone.
Pretty much you're like on almost like on 24-hour care, so to speak.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty independent, but if I am, traveling to a convention, or something, like I do always have somebody with me.
Oh, that's a good thing. I mean, um, and it's good thing you have all you prepare all that stuff. I imagine you have to like prepare way in advance just so you like when you go, you don't forget anything. Because I know there's those times when a cosplayer goes to a convention or even just as an attendee, you still have to prepare no matter what.
Yep, yep. It there's been plenty of times where I have accidentally forgotten things for cons. Like one time, I know this is before I was as disabled as I am now, so I was a lot more ambulatory on feet and stronger and just in everything else. But I went to Kuroneko, and whoops, sorry, I went to Kuroneko,
Such a
and
good con from what I've heard.
it's a pretty decent con, except one of the peace bonders really pissed me off. Because I brought in a gun, obviously, because of Claire Redfield, she fake guns. And it had an orange tip, but it was a small orange tip. But it was still orange, so it should have been fine. And they were just like, "Oh wow, this looks too realistic." Meanwhile, it literally looks like it's plastic. But they're like, "It looks too realistic. I don't think I can have you bring this in." And then they changed their mind and they were like, "Okay, well, we'll just do multiple colorful like zip ties on it." And so they started doing that and they did it too tight. And so it's permanently stuck on my gun now.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah. And they did it to my stars knife as well. They put it right in the crease of one of my knives, and so it's permanently stuck there. I would have to break the knife to get the zip tie off, so that's not worth
Oh,
it. But
jeez.
yeah, and there's people coming down the elevator behind the Peacemaker, and the Peacemaker literally lied to my face because I could hear the people on the elevator. This is before I started having hearing problems. And they were like, "Oh, well, I just heard somebody say, is that a real gun?" And yeah, I had to like hide it in a bag, like under a trash can, and hope for the best that nobody would steal it because my hotel was far away, and there's no way I was walking that distance again just to bring a gun back. So
No, fair.
yeah, but yeah, I went to Koroneko as Claire, and I forgot my jacket. And then I brought another cosplay, and I can't remember what it was, but I forgot the wig for it. So thankfully, I had a backup cosplay with me. But yeah, I have to pack well in advance, especially now since I have some like neurological stuff and I forget things very easily. So um, yeah, when I went to Kumo last month, I started packing like 2 weeks in advance and writing things down on a whiteboard too,
A
just to
checklist,
like,
a checklist is good.
yes, yes, especially when you have neurological issues. That way you can double check your boxes and make sure you forget nothing. And I forgot absolutely nothing, so that was nice.
Well, I mean, in your case, you have to make sure not only do you have the stuff for your cosplay, do you have snacks, food? Because sometimes, you're gonna need something to eat. And also, do I have medical supplies? Do I have the tubes? Do I have this, that, and this? I imagine you have like a pretty big checklist just to make sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty big checklist, unfortunately, just for the cosplay stuff too, but like for such a big checklist for the medical stuff. It's actually really overwhelming. Yeah, I miss cons pre severe disability because dang, I did not have to like pre-pack as much and have to pack for a bunch of medical equipment.
I mean, on the plus side, you won't have to worry about like, did I forget something while you're at the con or you're on your way traveling?
Yeah.
Speaking of traveling, I imagine you, when it comes to traveling for a con, you do your research, especially, with weather, traffic, stuff like that.
Kind of. So I don't really look at the traffic much because I'm unable to drive, but whoever is the one driving, they will look at the traffic. We'll try to plan a good time to leave to get to con at a good time with minimal traffic. And then in terms of weather, That I do pay attention to, because if it's going to be super rainy and I was planning on doing, I don't know, a cosplay like Alistair where I have face paint, maybe I might change my cosplay up into something that doesn't have face paint, even though I seal his face paint very well.
It's really well done, Alistair, by the way.
Thank you. Oh my god, the face paint alone, because I put so many layers and seal it really, really well, it'll literally last like 10 hours with like very minimal touch-ups, which is kind of insane. But even then, I still wouldn't risk it with rain.
No, it's good to not, risk it and everything, because you just don't want to, like, you know, underdo it, and then next thing you know, you're walking around con, and next thing you
Tripping
know,
face paint.
it's just like he just sees like, why is like gray drops falling off my face?
Yeah. Or sometimes I do Alistair without face paint. It just kind of depends on how I'm feeling.
I mean, we did get to see his
Yeah.
human version.
We did. I do Alistair, Demon Alistair without face paint, and I just do like some darker contouring. And I do like the eyes still, and in the mouth and whatnot. And then I do him with the face paint. And I also do human Alistair as well.
Nice.
I
And go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I thought about doing human Alistair today, but I forgot his tie, and I can't remember. It was something else. Forgot his tie. Oh, tie and shoes, I think, in my storage unit, unfortunately.
It happens. Also, like, when it comes to traveling, I imagine you prefer to, like, when it comes to, because the biggest part of a con is eating and making sure you're staying hydrated. I imagine you make sure that when you're hungry or need to get something to drink, you go and you'll get something to eat and stuff like that.
I don't really do that so much because I get my hydration through my port, and a little bit through my feeding tube, which goes it's and then I have my feeding tube formula as well, which is basically my food. I will occasionally snack on something if I'm like really craving it, uh, and if I know that it can drain out of my feeding tube into my drain bag. Like I can't eat super hefty things; they don't drain at all. Like meat or pizza or like a grilled cheese or something like that. I made the mistake of trying to eat French fries at KomoriCon, thinking, well, if I chew it well enough, it'll be like mashed potatoes, and it didn't want to drain, and I threw up because I
Oh,
can't
no.
digest food. So,
Oh, dang.
but I still had my IV fluids and feeding tube formula going into my intestines. So I was still getting nourished and staying hydrated. But yeah, my friends who like I go with, they will obviously go and eat something, and I'll be there with them while they're eating.
How often, if you don't mind me asking, how often does like your feeding tube, like how often do you have to like use that and everything, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it's 24/7. I'm on 24/7 feeds, because my feed rate. So that's basically like a feed rate is basically like how many calories and how many mLs that you are getting per hour, and you need to be at a certain feed rate in order to get, depending on your formula type, to get all of your nutritional needs met and caloric needs met in a day. But my feed rate's very low because I have a thing called feed intolerance, unfortunately, because my stomach paralysis is progressing to my esophagus and my intestines. So that's, lovely. But um yeah, so my feed rate's really low, so I don't get my full caloric needs or full nutritional needs each day, and so because of that, I have to be connected to it 24/7 to get as much as I possibly can until we can figure out how we can increase my feed rate without getting like deathly fucking ill. Yeah, so I'm on it 24/7. It can get really annoying, but I did start to adapt some of my cosplays to be able uh, to be hooked up to my feeding tube safely while still having an accurate cosplay. Like I do Beatrice from Night in the Woods, and the middle like waist seam was the perfect height to cut a very small hole to feed my feeding tube through, so that way I could be wearing the cosplay perfectly fine and I could be hooked up very easily. um yeah.
Sorry, I'm I'm writing down the cosplays we have talked about so far. So it was L,
Oh yeah, no, you're good.
Alistair, Claire. What was the one from Five Nights at Freddy's? Mangle.
Yeah, I do mingle.
And this one, you just Witch of the Woods, or what was it called?
Night in the Woods, and her name was Beatrice.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's 5 we talked about so far. Okay, it's just more of a reminder of myself and what to send when we're done here.
Yeah.
And you already answered my question about how you make your cosplays work and everything. You already answered that question.
Yeah, there's a few of my cosplays that I still need to adapt for my disabilities, like Greg from Over the Garden Wall. He wears overalls, and the top of my overalls is like it's I wouldn't say it's exactly like a chest binder, but it does have some compression because there's
It's form fitting.
yeah, if it fits around the body, like very well, and the back has some elastic bands in it, and so that's kind of why it's like compression and stuff. But because of that, it like pushes my feeding tube down, and so it's a little bit complex wearing him and having my tube feeds going. I need to figure out how to adjust him to work for it. But a lot of my costumes, oh, and Mangle. Oh God, yeah, because she wears. I don't even think I can adapt Mangle for it, actually.
I mean, I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure you can find a way, but it would just probably take some planning.
Yeah, she's got the black suit, and then on top of that, like 4,000 layers of other bull crap. So, um, yeah, that might be a difficult one.
What about the cosplay you're wearing? Is that easy to fit around your feeding tubes and everything?
Um, yeah, I just let it like hang down. If I was wearing it at a convention, I might have to figure something else out, because Kanade wears like this oversized sweater, and so think of it like a dress, and if you have like if my feeding tube, is connected to the feed bag and whatnot, I could just have it, run down my body, like inside of the dress, and it would just come out from under the dress, like by my legs. But if I was at a con, that would be dangerous, because I could trip over it, which is one
Not
reason why
good.
we modified Beatrice, because she wears a dress, and it's a long dress. So we had to cut the waist seam to be able to pull the feeding tube through it, so that way it wouldn't come out from the bottom and make me trip on it. Kanade doesn't have a waist seam, so I'm not sure how I will modify it yet. I don't know. Is there like a side seam, maybe? I don't know. It's something I will have to figure out if I was wearing her at a convention. But right now it's fine because I'm just at home sitting on the couch.
Well, that's good at least. How many cons have you gone to since 2015? Which has been your favorite?
Uh, it's gonna take me a minute, because I've been to a bunch of cons. I kind of frequent the same conventions. Let's see. So I done Emerald City, done Soccer Con, done Summer Con, Komori Con, Kuroneko Con, Chibi Chibi Con, Aki Con, Jet City, Renton Comic Con.
I haven't heard Jet City in a while. I've heard of Akicon, but nothing positive about Akicon.
Yeah, the AkiCon I went to, I think it was their last one because they kept saying like, "Oh, we're gonna cancel it. Oh, we're not canceling. Oh, yes, we're gonna cancel it. No, we're not." And so we got there, and there was like barely anything there because like they kept saying they were gonna cancel it.
Well, I mean, when you keep on saying that, of course people aren't gonna want to fucking go.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how many cons I've been to, but I would say probably around 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I have been to some of them multiple times. I think my favorite one is probably SummerCon, actually.
Oh, Washington SummerCon?
Yeah, I think that one's probably my favorite one. While I love all of the other conventions so much, I think that one probably has to be my favorite for a couple reasons. The size of it, it's not too large to the point where, you're getting overwhelmed, but it's not so tiny to where you're disappointed. I would say it's a good medium-sized convention. And they have some of the people there, some of the vendors do overprice things, as do vendors in all cons. But some of the stuff in there is actually reasonably priced. I haven't had a single bad experience at SummerCon yet, and hopefully it stays that way. And my friend Sydney, who goes by the asexual pirate cosplay on Instagram, we go to SummerCon together every single year. Ever since it became a con, which it was originally called Toy and Geek Fest, I believe. That was their first one, and then they changed the name to Washington SummerCon. We've gone to it every year. And it's kind of like a ritual for us at this point. It's something that we always do every year. And even if we're broke, we somehow always figure out how the heck we're getting our tickets. It's been a great con. There's also a really nice like garden beer area where you can take some really good photos. It's nearby the Puyallup Library, and next to that library, across the street, is, I don't know what the building is, but it's got a lot of good areas for photos as well. Like I've taken a lot of Resident Evil and Z Nation photos over there that turned out really good.
Nice.
It's located at a very good area. It's a good size. It's not overwhelming. Prices are, compared to other cons, better, I feel like. It's 3 days, and I don't know, it's great. And it's literally like a 5-minute walk from the hotel that I usually use. So that's also a massive benefit.
Nice. By the way, I'm gonna have to bleep out some of your F-bombs. You're allowed to cuss, but just since this is a PG-13, everyone is allowed one actual F word. If you say any other F words, it will get bleeped out with a Moogle sound from Final Fantasy.
Okay, I will try to remember that. My apologies.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Washington, I know they run two other cons, Anime Washington and Washington State Gaming Expo, which they basically combined this year. I saw.
Did they combine them this year?
Yeah. It's for next year, February 6th through the yeah. I mean, here's for anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go to that con. I did have tickets, but I ended up getting really sick. I think I had the flu or something.
I mean, if anyone wants to go, they got Richard Horvitz that's going to be there next year. It's the 6th to the 8th. 2 shows equals 1 ticket. I guess because they figured it's easier to combine the two than just have them, separate.
Yeah. They also run Washington State Horror Con, which I have been wanting to check out, but I haven't yet.
For anyone, feel free to pause this and you can see all the ones that they do.
It's so awesome. Yeah, I need to go to more of them.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, Elvira hosts the Washington State Horror Con. That is on my list of cons to go to because I love horror, and
Me too.
Elvira is one of my. She's on my list of actors to meet and interview someday.
I also love Elvira. And she looks so good for her age. Like, dang.
What is her secret? I mean, they don't call her the Mistress of Darkness for nothing.
For real, like she looks so much younger than her age. It's
Oh,
like wow.
oh yeah. Budgeting. How well do you budget for a con, and what advice would you want to give to someone who wants to go to their first con?
So with budgeting, um, I'm trying to think about with my personal experiences with budgeting. Um, okay, so a lot of my cosplays um, come from partially from donations from other people, like when I go live on TikTok. So some of the cosplays or parts for them come from that. So that helps. Part of it is thrifting. Find some good thrift stores, look around, and try to find like Goodwill. You know how they have like different color tags for different day like types of sales each day or whatever. Like try to find what you're looking for in that color tag, and you get even a better discount there. Look through your closet, see if there is pieces of clothing that you think could work for a costume that you might not wear anymore. Modify clothing. That is a huge way to budget. And I've done it many times. Another way that I have technically budgeted, and I'm just going to put quotation marks, is my friend Sydney. Instead of them getting me, like a gift for my birthday, they will help by paying for parts or sometimes an entire cosplay or parts for that cosplay, and then will help me make that cosplay as like a gift. If somebody has a friend that's really crafty, maybe people can ask their friend to help them with making said cosplay, especially if it's for as a birthday gift or a Christmas gift or something. And then in terms of, oh wait, one other thing is you can buy cosplays secondhand. I cosplay Chun-Li, and she costed me in a total of $40. That is it. Because I found white boots. May those boots rest in peace. I need to find new ones. I found them white boots for her for $10 at a thrift shop. The costume was $20, I believe. And then I just bought some like $10 tights, and then bam, Chun-Li was done, because I have a wig that works for her that is for a different cosplay. And yeah, so like I got the base of my Chun-Li cosplay from OfferUp. So like check places like OfferUp, eBay, Macari. There's another place, I think it's called Depop. I haven't
I've heard of
been on
Bebop.
I haven't been on there in so long, but I have seen really good deals on there before. So that's another really great thing to check for budgeting. But in terms of generalized like tips for cosplayers, for your first cosplay, I think budgeting is probably gonna be the best bet. I don't know if that's the right words to say. Because if you're just starting out, or if you're anxious about, like, well, what if I don't like cosplaying? What if I spend X amount of money and then I hate it? Or whatever other reasons. Do a budget cosplay, put it on, see how you feel. Try it out in public if you want. Try it at a convention. You could try one of the cheaper conventions or try to find a free convention, kind of see how you feel about cosplaying in that type of environment. And if you have a great time, awesome. Upgrade your cosplay. Check. You can even buy full cosplays off of websites. Some cosplayers, and I hate when cosplayers say this, will be like, "Well, it's not real cosplay if you didn't make it." Don't listen to that.
It
That
can,
is,
for that shit.
yeah, I agree. Don't listen to that. Cosplay doesn't have to be a competition.
It's for
It shouldn't
everyone.
be it shouldn't be a competition unless you're like literally entering a cosplay competition at a convention, but that's different. But if you're just cosplaying, it's not a competition.
Mm.
Cosplay is costume, play, and playing is fun. So the most important part with cosplay is that you are having fun. I don't think that there is such a thing as a bad cosplay. You know, you people cosplay with what means they have, and whether that is very little or a lot. As long as you're having fun, that's really the most important part. I think that while sometimes the cosplay community can be toxic, but any community can, there's also a lot of goodness in the cosplay community. Try to chat with some people on Instagram or TikTok. Try to get some tips off of them for maybe a cosplay that they do that you were thinking of also doing. So you can figure out maybe how you want to do said cosplay. Like when I started to do Alistair, believe it or not, Alistair's wig was my first wig I made from scratch. Um, I didn't know what I was doing. So I messaged somebody on TikTok and I asked them how they did their Alistair wig just to kind of try to get some ideas. And I made Alistair all by myself with no experience. So um, yeah.
That's
Also
impressive.
with Thank you. With wigs, by the way, the best thing to do, and this is a huge tip that I didn't understand how cosplayers got their wigs to be so fluffy and well styled until like a year and a half ago, which is kind of crazy considering how long I have cosplayed. But always crimp your wigs. Always crimp your wigs. It will make it to where they do not tangle as easily. It'll keep them in good condition for way longer, and they will be significantly easier to style and significantly easier to make it fluffy if your character has like really fluffy hair. And I know people worry about crimp lines, but if you crimp it uh, and you go over it again, moving your crimper more fast than before, it will help get rid of the crimp lines. You can also go over it with a straightener, or you can steam it, and it will help get rid of the crimp lines. Always crimp your wigs, though. Yeah. Or if you have a really long wig, put some. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's like uh, to,
Got to be?
huh?
Is it got to be glued?
No.
Yeah.
If you have a really long wig, well, hairspray is important. Got to be is good. Aussie free spray is better though. It dries faster. But no, if you have like a really long wig, let's say Jinx, for example, with those massive
Oh,
braids.
I've seen people do like the mesh method where they like put
Yes,
mesh
that's what I'm
around.
talking about. I think it's called like Tool or something, like TULE or
I've
something.
seen people do that with their Jinx wigs because they're tired of like the braids just coming undone, so they'll put that. And I've know a few people who've cosplayed Jinx in person that use that method. I've actually they let me feel the hair and like that's no way. That's like pretty impressive.
Yeah. They also make different colored. I think it's called Tool, so I'm just gonna say that. Um, but they make different colored ones so that way you can match it to your wig. And if you're wanting to try to cover up the fact that you are using the mesh tool, um, you can even sew along the pattern of your wig with the tool on to kind of make it basically squeeze more against the wig itself and give it, like for Jinx, for example, it will look more like braids and not like it's just has like a cover on it, you know?
That's impressive. Well, you answered my question about cosplay when it comes to budgeting for cosplay and trying to come out with your first cosplay. But now back to the other budgeting for con stuff. Do you ever have yourself a set budget for con if you're gonna like buy something?
I truly never know until like the day before the con what my budget's going to be because I am disabled and I'm not on disability pay because it's really complex to get onto,
Oh,
and they deny a lot of people.
I've heard there are a lot of people who are trying to get on who desperately need it, and
Yeah,
you know we're not gonna go that much into detail, but
yeah, it's
yeah, no,
it's it's actually
it's not
insane.
fun being on that waiting list.
Yeah, no, no, it is not. So, as a disabled cosplayer, I don't have a job and I'm not on disability pay. So, any type of income I get is either from like some donations through TikTok, which I use those more so for, piecing together cosplays, or occasionally as like a gift, like family will give me like, I don't know, like $20 or something as like a birthday present or something. Or I sell things. And so I never really know what my budget is actually going to be like until the day before the con because I don't have a reliable income. So that question is slightly difficult for me to answer just because like I said, I don't have an income. But if I did have a reliable income, uh, I would obviously make sure like all my bills and stuff were paid. Uh, and I would probably write down in like a journal or something or piece of paper or whatever, um, you know, like what my paycheck is and what the monthly bills are. And that way I can figure out like what percentage of said check is left over to just be, play money basically. Um, and then whatever that is could be my budget for con.
So you kind of like also limit yourself for cons too. It's like, okay, if I don't have the budget, then that's okay. There's always the next one, and I'm sure you can agree with this. Like, you don't need to go to every con because I know there's some cons that people always will like. Oh, I want to go to this con. This con's like, well, do you have the budget first? Are your bills paid? Do you have the PTO for it? If you have a job, stuff like that.
Yeah, that was one thing that I did actually struggle with for a while is thinking that like, and I guess it wasn't like thinking it more so just I just really wanted to go to more cons. I just really badly wanted to go to more conventions, but it just wasn't, within my means to do so. And um sometimes I would get upset about it, but then I'd be like talking to myself, I'd be like, bro, you are disabled. Like, you're probably going to be in a flare anyway. Just rest, go to the next con or something. Like,
Oh no.
um, I had to basically like talk to myself about it, which is kind of funny. Yeah, you don't have to go to every convention. It's better to be more responsible with your money so that way you don't miss paying your bills and then oh my gosh your power shut off or you get evicted or something like that, you lose your job or whatever. You don't want to be so irresponsible going to as many cons as you possibly want to the point where it's literally affecting your personal life and your housing and stuff. So be responsible with your funds. Take care of all your responsibilities. And when you can afford to go to a convention, have fun.
Oh no, I agree, and that also kind of aligns with traveling as well. Because I know some people when they travel for a con and they see the weather, it's like if the weather is that bad or something comes up, it does not hurt to cancel your con trip. It does not hurt to cancel your hotel. Just make sure you do it within that time frame to where you get your refund back. Or
Exactly.
if you use booking.com, not sponsored, sometimes if you use booking.com, there'll be that option where it's like, oh, free cancellation, and or you don't have to pay till you get here. Like if you need to cancel, because things always happen and things don't always go as planned.
Exactly. And it's better to be safe than sorry. Like I would personally rather cancel a con even though if I was looking really forward to it and I might be sad about it, not being able to go. But it's better to, be alive than, die because you were stubborn or whatever and still wanted to go to the con and with the bad weather, you get in a crash, and then that's it. No more cons for you. So it's just be safe.
Oh no, 100%. What are some cons that you have planned for next year, and what is your all-time dream con? Is a con that you always wanted to go to, just right now it's not in the budget?
So next year, I already have my ticket for KomoriCon. So that is a for sure thing. And that is the first time I have ever bought a ticket the year prior. So
Oh yeah, the black
that
those Black Friday deals. Dig
yeah,
right
yeah.
in.
I actually technically didn't buy it. My friend was like, "We're going to KomoriCon next year. Here's the money for it. Go buy your ticket." And so that's kind of how it happened.
You're like, okay, you don't have to tell me
I was
twice.
like, "I'm not gonna say no." Like, heck. And they already got the hotel booked too, so that's crazy. So we are completely set for KomoriCon already next year, and I'm so excited.
Nice.
Um,
I'll be
so
sure
that
to
is a
keep an
for
eye out
sure
for you and
thing.
say hi.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. So KomoriCon is a for sure thing. I go to SummerCon every year, so that will also happen. I just don't have tickets for that right now. I ideally would like to go to SoccerCon again next year. I have it planned in my head, but I don't know if I can actually do it because I don't know how my finances will be. Um, yeah, I would also like to check out Rose City Comic Con. I keep saying I'm gonna do it every year, and then I don't. I've never done Rose City.
That's on my list for next year as well. It's like we
Yeah,
got to
I
go because
really.
that's one of Oregon's biggest cons, aside from KomoriCon and Portland Retro
Yep.
Gaming Expo.
Yep, and I haven't been to Rose City, so it's been on my list of cons to do like every year since the past like couple years or so. Uh, but I haven't done it yet. I really want to do it next year if I can afford to. Chibi Chibi Con, of course, because it's free. I'll be doing that. And what's that other con? Washington State Horror Con. I'm gonna do that one. I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna make it happen somehow. I don't know how yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah,
It's in the plan.
it's in the plan.
It's in the
Uh,
or as what it's called is in the save file. Like it's saved to eventually.
yeah, I haven't been to it yet. My friend said it was really fun. I don't know how I'm gonna make it happen, but I'm going to make it happen somehow. Yeah. In terms of cons that I would really love to do one day, but currently don't have the money for. I want to go to Gamescom. Um, that's in Germany. It's like Germany's biggest uh, gaming convention, if not the world's biggest gaming convention. Actually,
It's bigger than PAX then.
it is. It's significantly bigger than PAX. I'm pretty sure it's actually like the world's biggest gaming convention,
Ooh.
and it's where a lot of brand new gaming stuff is also revealed.
Really?
Yeah, so I would love to go to Gamescom. I do not have a passport though.
Or a real ID.
So
One of the two would work. Well, no, you need a passport for real ID for stay then. Passport for.
yeah, yeah, it's Yeah, I would love to do
Uh,
Gamescom though. And then also, oh my god, I forget the name of it. I want to say it's in. Is it Ohio? Why do I keep it's? I keep thinking it's either Ohio or Utah, but I think it's Ohio.
what's it called?
I don't remember, but it's a summer convention, and there's like a pool. It's like a water park convention.
I would not know, and I've seen quite a few like on Instagram, but I would not know.
Yeah, it's like a really big convention, and it has like a water park area to it too. And I would love to go there and get some good like summer photos of some of my cosplays. I think that that would be really cool. But that's like not in the budget right now. I would also like to do some like Canadian
Ooh,
conventions. Like
I know there's CoveCon.
I'm trying to think of the name. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it right now. There's a couple of them in Canada though. And
I only know of two: CoveCon, which is in Vancouver, and then there is FrostCon, which is in Ontario.
yeah, it's none of those. I think it's like oh God, I can't remember it. Yeah, I can't remember it. But one of the ones in Canada, and then for the last one, I really, really want to do. I want to do MCM in the
Ooh, in
UK.
UK. I've heard good things about that. I know quite a few people. Well, I don't know them personally, but people I follow go to that one, and I heard it's one of like UK's biggest Comic Cons.
Yeah, it is, and they have like 4 MCMs like a year or whatever because they have them
Hmm.
in different parts of like the UK. I would probably prefer to do like the London or the Birmingham one.
Nice.
I know people in London and Birmingham, so I wouldn't have to go alone as well.
I mean, that's a far travel. So yeah, you definitely would need people with you, especially if you're going to be
Yeah,
on a plane
exactly.
for like hours on end.
Exactly.
Let's see. Now onto now onto cosplay stuff, and you already answered some of them. Um, so you do body paint. What kind of advice would you want to give someone who wants to do body paint for cosplay? Because not everyone's skin is going to be the same when it comes to the paint, texture, and stuff like that.
Okay. So the body paint, I'll just kind of give my experience or with like the body paint that I use because, like you said, everybody's skin type is different. Um, but I do know of a few good brands. Maron, which is the one I use, is really good. I use their cream sticks. Um, and like the way that I make mine last for like literally like 10 hours and people can even like touch my face and no paint will get on them is like I do one layer of the Maron cream stick. And I wait for it to dry a little, and then I will do the Maron setting spray all over my face with my eyes closed. Grab a hair dryer, dry it fast because I'm impatient as heck. Then um, I do another layer of the cream stick, um, and then I do another layer of the spray, and then I do Maron's white setting powder, and I like pack it in. I grab one of those makeup puffs and I like pack it in, and so like your face will literally look white, but then you take like a really light, fluffy um, makeup brush and you brush off the excess, and that crap will stays on me, and I sweat like a lot. I have
I'll keep that
overactive
in
sweat
mind.
glands. Yeah, I have overactive sweat glands, and that stuff still lasts me like 10 hours with
Oh no.
very minimal um, touch ups. There's another face paint brand, though. I think it's called Sunset Makeup, I believe. And they have colored foundations, even. So that is interesting. And my friend uses it because they have a lot of allergies, a lot of weird allergies to things like titanium dioxide and coconut and things like that. And this is like completely them safe. And it also lasts quite a while as well. And the frick, there was Snazaroo is also another good one.
I've used Snazaroo once for Joker years ago, and it held up surprisingly well.
Yeah, Snazaroo is pretty
despite
good.
and even in like a con in the rain outside, it held up pretty well.
Yeah, Snazaroo is pretty good. I know they have a few different types, just like Maron has a few different types of like their body paint stuff. But yeah, as long as you're sealing it, like, and you put on a couple layers and then you seal it, it stays pretty good. So I would suggest probably one of those three face paint brands. And biggest tip is multiple layers and seal it. Always, always, always seal it. And bring it with you to the convention. Do not leave it in your bathroom when you are heading out to the convention. Keep it on you, because chances are you're probably going to need at least like one or two minor touch-ups here and there, depending on how you have applied it and also how like sweaty you are or your skin type, because some people have like oily skin and that can sometimes make a difference in how well it stays on your face. So always, always, always bring it with you. And I do highly suggest the really packing in some setting powder on top of the setting spray and then using the fluffy brush to wipe off the excess powder, because that will give it more of a matte finish, and it makes it stay on significantly longer because it's not like creamy and semi wet-ish. It's like dry. Your face is now dry. So
Good to know. And I know sometimes, like when it comes to full on body paint, if someone wants to cosplay like Ice King, Joker, for example, or a character that has like different, colored skin, like a Tiefling from Baldur's Gate. We Love Colors is a good website. They have full on bodysuits now that like, your hands and even like down the feet. It's not like your feet's all covered. It's like individual like toes things if you want to like cosplay from Baldur's Gate or something.
I'll have to keep that in mind. I haven't heard of We Love Colors. When I like with Mangle and I wear a black suit under it. I just got it like off Amazon, but I'll have to remember We Love Colors and I'll have to look them up.
I'll send you a link just for you or anyone who's watching. It's a little bit more expensive because of the quality, but they do full on bodysuits from here to here, arm socks. Yeah, they do it all.
I might have to look into that for Vaggie, because like my Vaggie cosplay is like good, but I use like for the hands and like the arms, I use some like tights that we turned into arm sleeves. And I didn't want to put face paint like all the way like down the neck / chest area. And it's like with how her shirt is, it you could see very clearly that it was tights. And so I'm like, I would like to not have that and have my cosplay look a bit better. So I'm gonna have to look into them.
I believe they have like light gray. I'm not 100% sure because I just skimmed through it when I got a notification. But yeah, you wear contact lenses too, right, for your cosplays?
I do. I'm wearing contacts right now, actually.
Oh, nice. Advice for contact lenses, because I know again it's different for everybody, especially if it's even if they're not non-prescription, it's still do your research.
Yes, they're okay. So one, never buy contacts from like a thrifty area, like we used to have a BNI type thrift area, and my mom would get contacts from there. And they were not great quality and messed up her eyes. Never buy thrift contacts. I can tell you a few really good brands like Pinky Paradise, or if you're in the States and you need contacts really fast, Mocha Queen. They have really good contacts. I think the ones I'm wearing right now are actually Mocha Queen. Also, I have a pack right here. What brand is it? TDDI. Here's the random pack of green contacts. I haven't opened yet.
I've heard of them.
Their contacts are also really good. So those are 3 really good brands, but that I would highly suggest. Now for like putting contacts in, especially if it's your first time, you're gonna need to have a lot of patience. It's gonna.
I got steady hands, so
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a lot of patience. I also suggest getting a compact mirror like this, because the best
Ooh.
way for you to put in contacts is not if you're looking at your mirror and like sticking your finger in this way to like, put it in. It's actually gonna be looking downwards and then putting it in because gravity, it helps. So getting a mirror that you can just set down on any surface like this so you can look down in the mirror while putting the contact in. It's actually going to help a lot. I didn't think it would help. I tried it. It helps. So I suggest that as a really, really big tip.
Oh yeah.
Another tip is that if you have astigmatism, don't use sclera lenses. I found that out the
Nope.
hard way.
I
After
can't see shit without my glasses. Like
I
right now,
can't, I'm
looking at
blind in my
you,
right eye.
you're like 2 feet away, and you're blurry.
Yeah, I'm blind in my right eye and my left eye's fuzzy, so I feel you. But yeah, if you have astigmatism, I found this out the hard way because I have astigmatism. Don't buy sclera lenses. Mini scleras are okay. I do use mini scleras. But do not buy full scleras. Spent $100 and something on really cool big sclera lenses for Alistair. Can't get them in. And I did at one point finally get it in, but it like poofs out and pokes out on the sides because with the astigmatism, the eye just can't handle that massive lens. So don't waste your money. Don't do what I did and
Same
find
with
out the
like the
hard
mesh.
way.
Same with like with the mesh contact lenses. If you're already like can't see, putting those in. It's like it's gonna be worse. Like you're gonna be literally blind.
Yeah, I haven't tried the mesh lenses yet, but I can imagine that it is horrible
Oh yeah.
for vision. So, but yeah, don't find out the hard way like me. If you have astigmatism, don't buy sclera lenses. The mini scleras will work though. They don't cover the full eye, but they still cover a lot more than basic lenses and circle lenses. But yeah, when you're putting them in for the first time, be very patient. They also sell little kits that have these tools that might be helpful for some people. Like this, you can put your contact on and just bloop. And you can pick up contacts safely with these because even though they're tweezers, they have a rubber tip, so your contacts will be safe.
Oh, just 1
But
minute. I need to go do something real quick.
yeah, of course.
I'll be right back. But yeah, speaking of contacts, contact lenses, it's already usually gets shown at the intro, but might as well do it again. Speaking of Mocha Queen, for those who are watching, if you go to mochaqueen.com and put in the code Wayne, you get 10% off at checkout. Mochaqueen.com, sponsored by the way. Wanted to throw in the little sponsor. So anyone who uses Mocha Queen,
I'm gonna use that code for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, it's at the intro, and it's just my name when you check out, and like 10% off at mochaqueen.com, sponsored. Shout out to those. Shout out to the person. Shout out to the friend who got that sponsor for us. I always got to make sure to give a shout out to the friend that got that sponsor. Anyway, so do you wear on to the another cosplay question? Do you wear heels or any type of like platform shoes for your cosplays?
I do, and it is torture. For my Caitlin Kierman, I wore 5-inch heels, and I did not practice how to walk in them.
Oh no!
Yeah, but I was like, she is a hot 6 foot tall lesbian, and I'm short as heck, so I'm gonna wear these big heels. Um, and it made me what only like 5'7" or 5'8" at most, but like
I mean, everyone loves their favorite mongoose.
yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, I do wear heels. It is torture. I always bring a backup pair of shoes when I'm wearing heels, even like inside to the con. I bring a backup pair of shoes, whether that's flats or a different pair of boots that have just flatter bottoms.
Even slippers. Even slippers are
Yeah,
good to bring.
yeah. Just I bring an extra pair of shoes that are more comfortable, so that way when I feel like my feet are going to fall off and I can no longer stand the shoes I'm wearing, I can just switch them out.
That's a good thing, honestly.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and I'm sure you would right, like you said, recommend to test them if when you're at home. Test them like a week or so before the con, so you can break them in because you don't want to go to a
yeah,
con. Well, first, make sure they fit. Second, get it out of the way so when you're at con, your feet don't blister, and next thing you know, there's like a bunch of red bumps to your foot or your feet's bleeding.
yeah. The only reason why I did not like break them in and walk in them is because I was con crunching really, really hard, so I did not have the time to do it. So I was like, well, we're gonna go for it and hope for the best.
Go big or go home. Um,
Yeah.
Speaking of con crunching, and you actually kind of brought this up earlier, it does not hurt to because I've heard stories where people are con crunching literally the night or 2 days before the con, or a cosplayer I know, um, they did loot from Hasbin Hotel, and they
Heck
said
yeah.
I think they said it took them like a week to 2 weeks to make. Almost like that's impressive.
That is impressive. I'm one of those people that con crunches the night of and then gets no sleep. Like I think it was for Chibi Chibi Con, we were trying to do Alistair and Rosie, and I came over to my friend Sydney's. I want to say like 5 days in advance to the convention, and we were working nonstop on these cosplays. Except for when they had to actually go to work. And then when they were working, I would try to like nap or something. And then also work on the cosplays more while they're gone. Yeah, we by the time it was time for Chibi Chibi Con, we went, but we were both exhausted because we had in a total of the 5 days prior, in total had 8 hours of sleep between those 5 days.
Ooh, so that's at least a good, 2 hour and two to like hour and a half to 2 hours of sleep, roughly.
Yep, yep, for 5 days straight, and then went to con.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And that's why sometimes if like I know not everyone does it, but I feel like sometimes it does not hurt if you're able to have a backup cosplay, whether it's a cosplay you already had, because there's some people that want to still cosplay, but like well, I can't finish this, so bring it back up. And also, I'm sure you can agree that if your cosplay is getting, if you're overstimulated with your cosplay, it's beginning to become too much. It does not hurt to go back to your hotel and just switch into regular clothes.
That is very true. I did do that at uh, Komori Con. I can't remember what cosplay I was wearing. Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, what day it was. But after we were at the con, I want to say for like 4 hours or so, I was just like dying, and I was like, I need out of this. And so we went back and got into some normal clothes, and then we were gonna go back out again, but then we decided let's just stay in and maybe fix up our cosplays for tomorrow and Sunday, because there's a few of them that needed some minor repairs, and so like we did that, uh and actually got some sleep too that night.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
honestly. Now, a question I always ask, and you don't have to answer this, when it comes to people, who, disability cosplay or cosplays that are big over the top, how's it like? Is it easy to, at a con if you have to go to the bathroom? Is it ever easy if you're wearing like an elaborate cosplay or stuff like that?
It is not easy. The cosplay that I have the most difficult with trying to go to the bathroom is Mangle, for obvious reasons, because she has a bajillion layers. So, I and I have like an extra like endoskeleton arm with my Mangle as well, and it's kind of like tied against my back with some uh tubing that has wires hanging out of it as well. And so I have to have my friend help untangle me and then hand them the endo arm, and then um I have to take off um all of my arm bands, and there's 5 on each side. I have to take all of those off because it's a full bodysuit under, and then I have to take off the bird cage that has a ton of wiring all over it too. Um and the corsets and the shorts, and then I can get my suit off to use the bathroom. And so just getting into the bathroom and stripping out of 90% of the cosplay alone takes like 10 minutes. And then it's even, I go to the bathroom and I get out, and it takes probably 20 minutes to get
I
back
mean,
into it.
I can see what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. It takes like 10, 15 minutes to get out of it, and then it's another 20 to get back into it after I use the
So you're
bathroom.
looking at least a good 30 to 35 minutes at least just to go to the bathroom. That's
Yeah,
and I give props to anyone who, people who wear, not only are you, in your mobility with your mobility aid, but you're also in a big elaborate cosplay. So, trying to get and
yeah.
imagine it's also rearrange, moving your feeding tubes and everything. Like I don't mean to ask that question, just like, how's like mobility basically.
Yeah, it's um very complex. I don't need my mobility aids every single day. And so there's times where it is easier because, I'm sometimes I can walk like relatively normal. Um but yeah, it is more harder when the mobility aids are needed as well, because not only am I stripping out of this giant cosplay that has all these layers, I have to somehow fit my mobility aid into the disability stall as well. And the disability stall is like, it's big enough, depending on the con. The one that I went to, the most recent as Mangle, the disability stall was only as big as the toilet and fitting your mobility aid in, nothing else. So I had to like try to carefully stack everything on my mobility aid and hope that it wouldn't fall over while I'm
Pretty
just
much having to play a game
trying.
of Jenga with your
Yeah,
with your stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
pretty much. It's kind of complex. Getting back into it, I think, is probably the worst part, though, because it just takes so long, and I have to make sure that the endo arm is secured, because otherwise it'll fall over and hit people in the head, or maybe like, and I don't want that. So
no, I don't want that. I'm also imagine it's also, especially with, the Rose Center at Kumo and Rose City and Portland Retro Gaming Expo and FanX, the elevators are probably the best thing.
oh yeah, I love using the elevators. It makes things so much easier.
I mean, imagine it, it's a good thing too to have.
Yeah, yeah, it makes it so much easier in general, but especially so when I do have um my mobility aids with me. Um, I will say that there is one massive perk to being disabled at a convention, and it is getting to skip the line. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. ADA, especially for registration, has their own. Um, yeah, no, imagine that makes it easier too.
yeah, I don't have to wait in line for like 4 hours. I just go up there, and maybe there's like a person or two ahead, and then so I'm in the line for what, like 10 minutes max, versus where everybody else is in there for like 4 hours. That is like the biggest plus to being a disabled cosplayer, is not having to wait in those god awful lines. And yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, I can confirm when you're having to go into a line. My only gripe, speaking of registration lines, because I did press, my only issue was that because like in 2023 it was just 4 straight lines to get your press badge, your vendor badge, whatever. This time they made it like a maze. It's like a snake maze. Like, this is not like a movie theater or a carnival ride. I just want to, and there's like no one else in line. Like, I can understand if there's people in line to have that, but like, oh, you just go straight. Here's your badge. Thank you. Now it's like, no, I have to go through this fucking snake maze. even the
Oh
people
my
who
god.
were even the people who were like running the badge pickup, they weren't happy with it either.
Yeah, the snake mazes are like really crazy. Like going to Soccer Con and having to pick up your badge, or like Komori Con or something. And there's so many people in line, and it's a maze. And sometimes the maze is so large that it's like going out the door, and so it'll be difficult to even find the ADA section. It's really crazy. But once I find that ADA section, oh my gosh, I'm so happy because I just get to skip
What
everybody except for other, disabled people. But
what are the lines like for? Is it just a straight line for ADA, or is it multiple lined? What's the for especially for people who are watching this who may want to go to Kumo and need to use the ADA line?
so I find that it kind of changes on the con, or kind of depends on the con, and it also depends on each year because sometimes the lines change. But as a general like kind of rule of thumb, um, it's usually 1 or 2 lines, and there will be a big sign that says like ADA or disability, and you can head over there and then get like a ADA sticker on your badge. I had
What
it wasn't an incident, but it was like I think it was during man, what year? What con was that? It was I think it was Soccer Con this year. So we were trying to find the ADA line, and one of the people, the staff members, were like, "Well, do you have like an ADA ticket?" And we were like, "What do you mean?" Um, and they're like, when you bought your ticket for SoccerCon for registration, did you click ADA on there? And we were just like, there wasn't even an option for that. Um, and so they were like, well, you're probably going to have to wait in the regular line then. And we were both just like, screw that. And so like, we still went over to the ADA area and we explained it, and they gave us our like ADA badge so we could use the elevators and, all of that. So
sounds like that staff member volunteer was new.
it could have been, yeah. But regardless, we still, we went up to the ADA place anyway, explained, that situation, and they gave us, our ADA badges anyway.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But it's usually like a line or two, and it is almost always going to be the lines with 0 or very little people. So it's not difficult to find
It's not
unless,
like it's not like regular where the lines are like you're like 2 hours in and people have been there since like 9, 10 o'clock.
yeah, it's not crazy like that. Which is nice. Yeah. So if you're disabled, yeah, you can. I don't know how it is in other states, but in the Pacific Northwest, you can skip the line if you're genuinely disabled. And sometimes they'll give your like handler or your caretaker or whoever's with you. Sometimes they will, depending on the situation, will also give them an ADA badge so they can also skip the line because they're taking care of you, a disabled person, so they have to be with you. So, um, but yeah, in Pacific Northwest, you pretty much get to skip the lines, and they're not too difficult to find. You just kind of have to wiggle through the super long regular registration line to find the area inside the building that has the shorter lines, because sometimes those regular lines, they're so long that they come out like the door, and so you just have to get past them and find the ADA section. It's usually only a line or two. I think the most lines I've seen for ADA was 3, and that was at. I think that one might have actually been SoccerCon. I could be wrong, but it's usually 1 or 2 lines.
Well, it's still good to know. So 2 more questions. I know some people, when it comes to the cosplay community, and especially cosplayers who are disabled, they feel like sometimes feel like they can't cosplay, certain characters, and there's that thing where someone will see a disabled cosplayer cosplaying as a non-disabled character and stuff, because the cosplay community again can be toxic, can be very gatekeepy. What kind of advice would you want to give a cosplayer, who wants to get into cosplay, but they're not too sure, or they're afraid because, people may make fun of them because, they're disabled and stuff like that?
The biggest advice that I can really give is find your community. Find the people that are like really good friends within the community, people that you can bond with over cosplays or like cosplaying or conventions, gaming, things like that. Find the people who spark joy in your life, and the ones who are super mean. And I know it's easier said than done and requires practice, but I would ignore them, honestly. If you love a character and that character is able-bodied, and let's say you're in a wheelchair, cosplay the person anyway. Cosplay is supposed to be about, dressing up and having fun. That's literally why it's called cosplay. So, and I know, like I said, I know it's easier said than done. It's hard to ignore people when they're very rude. If it's happening on social media, block them. If they are continuously harassing you from like other accounts, I would start screenshotting everything just in
Have
case.
have have receipts. I mean, I've seen
Yeah,
my fair share. I've seen my fair share recently. With what recently happened with one cosplayer, and how this. I'm not going to go too full into detail, but it's sad seeing how some cosplayers will bully other cosplayers, which I
it
think is
is.
just like, we're all just here to have fun. Everyone has their own unique style on how they want to cosplay a character. Whether they use their natural hair, their skin tone, just as long as you don't blackface, don't fake having a disability to cosplay a disabled character, you know, like, as long as you're not doing any of those bad things, or trying to, then you're good. Don't go off on someone because they're having their own unique, fun, twist on a character.
Exactly. Like cosplay is supposed to be about having fun. If you find a character you really like, you really relate to them, you want to dress up as them, do it. I promise you that once you get past that initial anxiety and you dress up as that character and you go to a convention as said character, you are going to find people at that con who love your cosplay. It will happen. And then you will realize that it's worth it. And the bullies and stuff, ignore them, block them. If they continue to harass you a ton, screenshot it just in case. I mean, there has been instances in the cosplay community where harassment has been so asinine, so severe that authorities have had to be involved. Now, I'm not saying that to scare anybody, because it's like that in any type of community. It's like that in real life. There's good people and there's bad people. But find your community, dress up as the people that you like, have fun. I promise you're going to find people at the conventions who love your cosplay and who want to be your friends. Exchange social medias. You don't even have to give out your real phone number if you have some anxiety about, a person maybe not being who they say they are or whatever. Just give them like a social media, chat with them there. Maybe become friends. You'll find your people. I was very anxious too at first. I was kind of more so just like a cosplayer who did it at home. Took a couple photos and I wasn't posting any of it like online. I finally, started doing it, and I found a community of people who like the same things that I like, who were telling me like, "Oh my God, your cosplay is amazing." And like we would start chatting, become friends. And there's the few bad eggs, yes, but when you build such good friendships with people because you like the same things and you bond over it because you're passionate about it, it's worth it. I say just
Oh,
go for it.
oh no, I wholeheartedly agree. Cosplay is for everyone. Just, let people have fun. It doesn't matter on their skill level, their skill set, age, race, height, weight, as long as they're having fun, as long as they're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think the only thing about it is that if you're like a minor, you probably shouldn't dress up like a character
I
such
was
as like
about
Angel does.
to, I was just, yeah, no, I, I can agree that, and I was just about to ask you that because you cosplayed from, a Has Been Hotel and, Hell of a Boss. I feel like just if you're like you said, if you're under age 18, it's probably best not to cosplay a character from an 18 plus media source. Yes, they may not be wearing skimpy outfits, but like the fact that you're, cosplaying like Angel Dust or anime
I mean, he's
character.
a porn star, so
Oh,
like
no, he is, yeah, no,
that's
that he
why
is.
they shouldn't cosplay him, honestly.
No, I can agree, and I feel like, parents should really be like, monitoring what their kids watch. Yeah. I mean, I can't really say because I was, 5 years old watching South Park, but you don't see me,
Me
you
too.
know, at a young age cosplaying a character from that show. Or and it's like, I've seen some 18 plus animes. Like, yeah, no, you shouldn't be cosplayed from that because it's kind of sad when you see like a 15-year-old or 16-year-old, 13-year-old like, you're cosplaying so and so, and I'm just like, in my mind, like, how the fuck do you know who I'm cosplaying as? What are your like, but
Yeah. Yeah,
I just,
my 5-year-old knows all of the Has-Been characters, but she does not watch it. She just knows it because she knows that I cosplay Alistair. So she
see,
knows the characters, but she doesn't watch it. So
and I imagine your daughter, niece.
my daughter, she's 5.
See, and I imagine you monitor what she watches, and if she ever gets to cosplays, you will be like, let her know that, hey, you can't cosplay these characters, but here are some characters that are more suited to your age range.
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely not be dressing her up as Angel Dust, I'll tell you that much. Heck no.
Mm-mm. um,
No.
speaking of, does your partner ever cosplay with you? Or do you guys ever cosplay together?
No, he's not really into it. Like he is a nerd, but it's not really his scene going to conventions and stuff. He doesn't really like to go out much in general, which is fine, but he will drive me to the cons and sometimes wait in line with me if I have to wait in line for a little while,
And,
which
and there's
usually
nothing wrong. And there's nothing wrong with having a
yeah.
support system like that. In that sense, it is a convention expert, someone who can go to the con with you, even if they're not.
Mhm.
Like if you need to call them, hey, I'm getting overwhelmed, can you come pick me up or something?
Yeah, yeah, he picked me up from soccer con earlier this year at like 9:30 p.m. and that was like really nice because it was dark. I was tired. I tried so hard to stay for like the rave, but it was just not happening. I was like, I need to go home. I
We're done.
was like,
We're done.
we're not 18, 19, 20 years old anymore. I need to go to sleep.
Go have dinner by 5, be in bed by 9.
Yeah, pretty much.
um, Now into cosplays you've done. What's that one cosplay you've not done in so long that you would like to bring back?
Uh, hmm. Probably Chun-Li. I think I haven't worn her, I want to say since like 2019.
It's been that long, huh?
I think so. It's been
Been a
a
minute.
fat minute. So yeah, but before I would wear her again, I would want to upgrade her like significantly because it was my biggest budget cosplay, and you can tell. And there's nothing wrong with that, but because my skills as a cosplayer have grown, I would like to reflect that and, upgrade my cosplay just, because I can, and I think it would look better for me personally. So, um, yeah, I would like to bring her back, but not until in a not until I can upgrade it. Once I have the finances to do so.
I mean, her outfit's like changed significantly. I mean, like for example, this is like from her look from Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, it has changed a lot. I do like original Chun-Li outfit.
Oh, so you do like when she was first introduced in the 80s.
Yep, yep,
I
that's
mean,
the one.
you can't beat the classics. Um, now before we go on, what's it like? What's it like cosplaying as both male and female characters? If you don't mind me asking that.
Uh, it's really fun. The biggest, not I wouldn't say downside, but like I cosplay Adam from oh my god, my voice. I cosplay Adam from Has Been Hotel. And he's got like that like goatee kind of going on. I cannot draw facial hair. I do grow facial hair in, but it's so spread apart and patchy that it's like not worth it to like grow it in for a cosplay. So I have to like try to draw it on, and I can't, and it looks so fake. I'm gonna have to like buy one of those like stick on goatees for him or something,
I mean, yeah, I mean, for
Um,
someone who's worn, who has real facial hair, but has also worn fake beards for Cole Cassidy from Overwatch, um, and also Joel from The Last of Us. So, yeah, it's definitely just I will recommend if you're gonna get a beard commissioned, make sure you give them your measurements from like because they're gonna like if it's a beard, they're gonna want from here like from the ears to here. So yeah, definitely do your research if you're gonna like ever wear fake lace front beards.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Because I need to get something for Adam because he's got like that goatee, but um, it's like I still my makeup skills could still use a lot of improvement, and the lack of me being able to draw even semi-realistic facial hair is very telling that my makeup skills have improved some throughout the past year or so, but um, it's just yeah, I don't know. I can't draw facial hair, but
Yeah.
cosplaying as both female and male characters is it's really fun because it's there's more variety there. I just I
Oh,
cause
I believe it.
I so yeah, I just it doesn't matter like if the character's a male or a female. If I like that character, and I have the money to cosplay them, I'm absolutely going to. It's also really funny when uh you can cut this part out if this is like totally inappropriate, but uh so at some of the conventions I've been to, there has been like stereotypical hostile Christian protesters. Um, and,
I
picking
saw my
on,
fair share. I saw my fair share at Kumo, and if I'm going to be honest, they're not even actually Christian. They're just there to and just to start something.
yeah, this past Kumo, there was somebody, and yeah, anyway, but yeah, so like at some cons, there is those stereotypical, like super
You're
hateful
going to
pushing
hell.
yeah quote unquote Christians that will pop up harassing people like even minors and stuff, which is like totally not okay. I actually like bit the head off one of them once when they were messing with a group of teenagers, and made them cringe so hard with some of the most I was saying some pretty vile stuff to like shock them, that I cannot repeat on here.
Oh no! YouTube will
But
be like, yeah, you can't say that on here.
yeah, I it's worse than F-bombs. I was saying some vile things to like
Ooh.
freak the person out, to like make them leave. But yeah, so being somebody who cosplays as both, males and females, and coming across some of those hostile quote unquote Christian protesters, they will get confused because they're like, "Are you a boy? Are you a girl?" And I'm just there like, "Yes." Like I don't even answer them really. I'm just like, "Yes." And they get so mad and they're like, "You need to repent. You're gonna burn in hell." Blah blah blah. Um, and I'll just like laugh at them and just be like, "I don't care, hail Satan." Like, or I don't know, or I'll grab my friend and like kiss my friend to like just gross out the protesters.
No,
So it's really,
I'm keeping that in.
yeah, that's fine.
That's too funny to not. That's too funny to.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's yeah, it is. It's kind of funny. So it's also really fun to mess with those horrible protesters by doing things like that, and confusing them by being somebody who naturally looks very feminine, but dresses as both sexes.
I mean, I gotta give props to male cosplayers who can pull off female characters, and I gotta give props to female cosplayers who can pull off male characters. Just like that's really good. Like I know who you are, but like at the same time, it's really convincing. I thought you were like a chick or a dude, like that it's impressive how cosplayers can look entirely almost like the character.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. Those type of cosplayers inspire me to up my makeup game, because while my makeup has gotten a lot better from before, I still feel like it needs work because I can't draw facial hair. I have facial hair, but it's so patchy that I don't grow it in. So it's yeah, I can't draw it on. So I really need to up my makeup game so I can actually look even more like the characters that I'm cosplaying as.
Nice. Um, Now, what's that one cosplay? As I call them, vaulted cosplays. It's a cosplay you once did because you were curious about the character. A friend asked you to do it for a photo shoot, but like after that, it's like, nope, 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 nope. Just gonna put you away in the trash or put you in the closet until I decide that yeah, I want to cosplay you again.
Uh, I don't think I've had a cosplay like that because I try to just pick characters that I genuinely enjoy. I did, however, I don't think this counts, but I don't know, maybe it does. I did, however, at one point I had a Team Magma cosplay from Pokemon.
That counts.
And I did not want it anymore, for various reasons that I will not say. And my friend happened to have a Hatsune Miku cosplay that was too small for them, but it fit me, and so we just swapped cosplays.
So you did Hatsune Miku and they did the Team Magma.
Yeah, I gave them my it was like an actual like IRL trade. So they have that Team Magma cosplay now. I think it's probably in their storage unit, but I ended up getting a Hatsune Miku cosplay. I did eventually a few years ago sell it to pay rent, but I want to redo it again.
I gotta do what you gotta do. Now, what has been your all-time favorite cosplay? As I call them, a comfort cosplay. It's the character you'll cosplay no matter what, whether you're just at home, you want to film a TikTok, you just want to, take some photos, or it's like, you know what, I don't want to do this big over-the-top cosplay. I just want to wear this because it's simple and I can just, roam around in it right afterwards.
Uh, hmm. I think it's a tie between uh Busboy Alistair and Human Alistair.
Oh, the when him and Lucifer singing that song.
Yeah, and he's wearing that vest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's probably a tie between them because
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. It's like I had to think about it.
yeah. But yeah, I think it's a tie between them because I really like Alistair. And the busboy version is relatively simple, and the human Alistair is even more simple, but it's still Alistair. So, yeah, it's probably a tie between the two because I just really like Alistair.
I mean, he is the most powerful sinner in hell. So
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Um,
I get so into character with him too. Like I will walk with like my hands like behind my back or like walk with the staff and like call people like my dear and stuff. It started to seep its way into my regular vocabulary. Um yeah. And when I cosplay I try to get in character
good
and
old vocal stems.
yeah, it happens very easily with Alistair. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean he's like I said, he's your comfort character, and I feel like there are those characters that you can just easily like get fully into, and it's
Yeah.
just like, yep, this is who we're doing today. It's oh yeah, which brings me to another question. Um, and I'm sure you can agree with this. And people who are watching, going to a con is not like going to Disneyland. Yes, you see your favorite characters, but that doesn't mean that, they're going to want pictures. You need to be mindful, respectful. It's not like Disneyland where you see one of the characters and like, oh, I want a picture with Mickey. You don't go be like, oh, I want a picture with Hatsune Miku or something. It's like, no. You got to like with that you got to ask, and if they say no, be respectful. With kids, I know it's a little bit different because they're still learning, but with adults, it's kind of sad when a full grown ass adult will pester you for pictures or something. And also, cosplay does not equal consent.
Yes. Yes. Very much yes, it does not. I absolutely agree. One, I haven't been to Disneyland, but you are right. Cosplay does not equal consent. I've had plenty of people like ask me for my photos, and most of the time I'm gonna say yes, unless there's only been a couple instances where I've told people no, and one of them was when I had just broken my Alistair cosplay. And they didn't know that it was like broken. But I was like trying to walk out of the con because I was legit having a absolute meltdown about it. Uh, and they asked for my photo, and I had to tell them no. And I apologized too, but I was like, I need to leave. I'm sorry. So, yeah. Or if like I'm like eating, which I mean I don't really do a lot of, but like if I'm like eating something or whatever, I might say no. It kind of depends on what it is I'm like eating. And or if I'm like cosplaying in a group like a full group, and if they might want the whole group together, like we'll probably say no because all of us are sitting down having a snack or whatever. But yeah, most of the time I'll say yes. To people asking to take my photo. There's only a few instances where I really would say no. Then there is the people who do it anyway without your consent, or they take photos of you without your knowledge, and then you find out later
Yes,
because you
it's a
find
yes,
the
it's a
photo.
public space. Yes, it's a
What
public
was that?
space, but no, that
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
mean. Oh no, I was just saying. Yes, come on. Yes, con space is a public space, but that you still need to be respectful because
Yep.
it's just there are creeps out there.
Yeah. Yeah. There really is. I've dealt with my fair share of creeps in conventions. To the point where it was bordering SA. So, yeah, don't be a freaking
Hmm.
creep. And ask permission.
No, I wholeheartedly agree on that. Um, So now on to cosplays that you're doing for next year, and what is your all-time dream cosplay? Is a cosplay you want to do, but again, it's just not in the skill or budget yet.
So answering that is for cosplays for next year is semi-difficult given the fact that I don't have an income, but ideally anyways, I want to do season 2 Alistair where he has his pink outfit. And my friend wants to do season 2 Rosie where she's wearing like her white dress. And we do that as a group. And I also would like to do Roxanne Wolf from
Security
from
Breach.
yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. I also would like to do a true version of Pit Fighter Vi from Arcane. I did like a closet cosplay-ish version of it. But I would like to do a legit version. I also would like to do Jinx with the braids, which will be a nightmare. But yeah, and I'm trying to think. So I do Adam, but I want to, and this one is like probably number 1 on my roster of cosplays to do for 2026. So I cosplay him already, but it's not a complete cosplay. So I have this like electric face mask thing, and I plan on programming his faces into it so that way.
Oh, I've seen people
Yeah,
have those where they could get like their facial thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I've yet to see. I think I've seen like once, but like to like do a full face thing, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm doing the electric mask. I'm gonna program the faces into it, and then I'm gonna somehow incorporate it, hopefully in a way to where it doesn't look awkward. Because the few times that I've seen Adam cosplayers do that with the face mask trying to connect to the rest of the headpiece looks awkward. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to make it not look awkward. But I plan on doing that so I can do his faces, but then also having the big headpiece, the helmet with the horns, and I want to put the golden halo as well. But I want to make the golden halo not only helmet compatible, but also helmet free compatible. So I'll probably have to end up 3D printing some sort of like disc type thing that can go under my wig so I can attach the halo and then also go under the helmet so that way when I want to wear it with the helmet I can. And then I want to do the wings. I did them and I used the wrong foam. And so the paint wouldn't stay on. And had to throw them away because they were falling apart, which sucks because I did 2 months of work on it. Yeah. But that's probably the biggest one is the Adam one. I really want to finish that. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I really want to repair my Ida wig from Ida from the Owl House.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I cosplay her, but I made a second Ida wig, and that thing weighs like 10 pounds. And I'm not kidding. And when we were trying to put it on my head, it apparently was too small, so we had to cut it in a couple areas, and we hit it, but we have to install new mesh to make it, not like fall apart. So we have to fix it. So I can redo Ida again. But I think as far as like a dream cosplay, that is very difficult to choose from. But one of them would be Harpy Ida from Owl House. I have seen somebody cosplay that version of her. and it looked awesome. And I would love to cosplay that version of Ida as well. It's so complex with like the long talon uh, uh, feet and the wings and everything. It just looks really, really complicated. I'd love to do that at one point.
That'd be pretty cool to see. So I do this thing now where I do a cosplay suggestion of a character I think people would pull off really well, and the character I can see you doing. I don't know if you ever heard of the series, but I can see you do Noctis from Final Fantasy 15.
That's actually not the first time that I've heard that.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think I think Noctis would be pretty cool to see because I love seeing it anytime because Final Fantasy 15 it's one of my favorite it's one of my top 5 Final Fantasy games, and that or Vincent Valentine from the Rebirth the remake series.
Nice. I haven't played a lot of Final Fantasy, but I have played some of 15, and then I played like X and X2, and
Ooh,
uh,
they're good ones.
yeah, I would love to do a Pain cosplay. I think that would be really cool.
Ooh,
Um,
I've not seen many people do Pain. I've seen Yuna, Riku. I think I've only ever seen a Pain once, and that was in 2019 at SAC Anime because they had they had like 3 of the voice actors from Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 there. And Pain's voice actor was there. And same with Yuna's voice actor.
Heck yeah, that's freaking awesome. Yeah, I would like to cosplay Pain at some point. And like I haven't played a ton of 15, but my friend was wanting to cosplay from it, and I told them that if they did the cosplay, they haven't yet, but if they did the cosplay, I would probably do either Noctis or Prompto with them.
I Prompto's another good one. I like his grungy punk rocker looking outfit.
Same.
Nice. Now onto my favorite questions. These are these are pretty much the final round questions. As I think I'm just gonna call them final round questions because I'm a Mortal Kombat fan. Um,
Nice.
have you ever had a cosplay? You already talked about a cosplay mishap before. Um, but have you ever had any other cosplay or prop mishaps, like something broke, snapped, fell apart, whether you're getting ready for the con, or like during a photo shoot?
Yeah, my rifle for Caitlin Kiraman broke when I was trying to load it into the car to get to Chibi Chibi, and so I had to go without the rifle because it broke, and it broke in a way that was not repairable. So um it is super glued to all hell, and so technically I can use it now, but it doesn't fold anymore. So I'm working on a new folding rifle for her. And then there was my Alistair staff. I just had Ed Bosco, the pilot Alistair voice actor, sign it, and I broke it. It snapped in half.
Pretty much, you had a wait. What just happened? Fuck.
Yes. It's I had a meltdown about it. Because uh that was part of the mishap I mentioned earlier. So he signed it. I busted it. I grabbed super glue to try to fix it, and then the super glue exploded on my Alistair jacket, and that's when I had just lost my. Yeah, I was like, I need to leave, and I thought that jacket was ruined forever. But I don't know what the heck I did to it. But I got the super glue out without doing too much damage to it. So, um,
I mean, and super glue is like very like sticky consistency, and if it like folds into something, you're pretty much screwed.
yeah, I don't know how I got it out, but I did. So I mean, go me, and yeah, now I have a mirror signature on there as well. I need to get
Oh,
Black Griffons, and then I'll have all 3 Alistairs.
Black Griffin, yeah, because he did that one song for Alistair. I can't remember the name. Insane.
Yeah, and he was the singing pilot voice for
Oh,
Alistair.
nice, nice, nice. Did you speaking of did you ever did you get to meet Jill Harris, the pilot voice for Charlie at Kumo this year?
No, I didn't know she was there.
Yep, Jill Harris, the pilot voice for Charlie was there.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't know that. That's awesome though.
But yeah, so you've had two basically canonical cosplays because in Arcane, Caitlyn gives rid of her rifle to help Vi in season 1, and then Alistair's staff breaks because cane breaks because of Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, two canonical mishaps.
um have you ever had any WTF moments at a con, like, you're at a con with your friends and then it's just like just a weird, awkward, like what the hell moment, like to like, okay, I need to get out of here and go somewhere else?
Um yeah, there was an incident years ago at SummerCon where I don't know if it counts as SA. I'm not going into detail. It's either that or just bordering it. So I'm not going to go into too much
I mean,
detail.
SA is still considered harassment, and that's what I firmly believe in.
But yeah. So I had an incident where yeah, I don't.
No, it's if you don't want to talk about it, that's perfectly okay.
I just don't know how to explain it, and also I don't want to say anything that's like too inappropriate. But I had an incident at SummerCon years ago. That was pretty much SA, and I'll kind of leave it at that. And yeah, I had to leave that area because I was like, what the actual hell just happened? Yeah, it was yeah.
It baffles me that you have these grown ass adults who pay to go to this con, and yet they think they can do whatever the hell they want. It's like, no, you cannot.
I think that was actually the last time I wore Chun-Li as well.
Oh damn.
I think now that I'm remembering, I think that was the very last time I wore Chun-Li as well. Now I don't know if that was like, I don't know if that was like a subconscious thing or what, like a subconscious choice of mine is to not wear her again. But yeah.
No, I mean, I get it. There's like there are times where cosplayers had a bad experience with this one cosplay that they always wanted to do, but then someone has to be a a, a fucktard and just ruin it. And I was just
Yeah.
like, you're a grown ass adult.
Yep.
And I don't excuse, like, I get it. There have been moments at cons where someone's like, autistic or has this or that, and they like go and like do that thing, and then that day they just use that as an excuse. Someone who's autistic, I don't use that, as an excuse.
I'm autistic too.
But I just hate when people like, oh well, I didn't mean to do. It's like, if you didn't mean to and you want to, done it.
Exactly. Yeah. I've had a few really weird instances at conventions.
I don't excuse, like, you did it. It happened. Own up to it. Apologize, or like, just. And I feel like moments like that, that's when like security needs to get involved and point out the person. Yeah, I know some people don't want to do that, but and I feel like in that instance, not on say like your instance, it's fucked up. But like in other cases, I get people don't want to do anything because they don't want to cause any issues. Like, but if you don't, there's a chance that they could do that to someone else, and right there and there that you could have stopped that to happen to anyone else.
Yeah. No, I get it from both sides because I can understand it, the fear as, being a victim, and then understanding the other side of like, well, if you don't do anything, it could happen to somebody else. And and they might not be like mentally okay enough to handle whatever thing happens, so
No, I get it.
so I understand it from both aspects.
Oh yeah, no, like no, most definitely. It's just you got con space is supposed to be a safe space. Be safe.
I agree.
As I always say, be safe, stay safe. You know.
Yes. Yes, I agree with that. Another thing that I like to say that is probably my biggest motto is do no harm, but take no shit.
Yes, I am for that. Can confirm on that. What's been your favorite con moment? Like to this day, it's something that like just brought you pure joy at a convention.
Meeting, I've had a couple of them. It's hard to choose between them, so I'll just like name a couple of them.
Oh yeah, no, go right
Uh,
ahead.
first one that comes to my mind is going to SummerCon. I can't remember what year it was, but I met like half of the main cast of Z Nation, and my favorite
Ooh.
character from that is Addie or Addison. Played by Anastasia Baranova, and I was dressed as her character, and I met her, and she was so sweet and took pictures of me and a video of me swinging my Z-Whacker weapon, and she posted it to her Instagram and also followed me on Instagram. And I was, by the time she had followed me on Instagram, I was already inside of a bar, like drunk, and so, yep, her. And so
I've that's I've yet to finish Z Nation, but
it's so good.
she's my favorite character.
Yeah, she's mine too.
And
Yeah,
10K.
10K is great too. My friend was cosplaying 10K actually, but
Nice.
but yeah, I met her. She was super sweet. And like I was in the bar already, like drunk, and then I saw that she followed me on Instagram, and I like started sobbing because she's like one of my favorite actresses, and I was drunk, so I started like sobbing in the bar, and my friends were like, "Oh my God, like, are you okay?" And I showed them my phone, and they were like super excited for me. But yeah, that was probably one of them. And like I never do panels either, but I did go to the Z Nation panel. And who was it? I think it was Doc. Doc like called me out on like in front of the entire audience of the panel, uh and was just like, look at their Addison cosplay, and look at their Z-Whacker. It is literally a work of art. And I got like super like shy and anxious, of course, because I'm autistic and I have anxiety. But it was like it was fun. And then another one was meeting the, oh my God, entire cast of Hell of a Boss. That was really fun, and I have a photo with all of them. I just have to find it. And then meeting most of the cast of Has Been. Um, and I have Amir's signature next to Ed Bosco's on my staff with the
You
quote,
now just need
haha,
now you
fuck
just need black
you.
reference.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh
Now I
God,
need,
no,
to
that is
get and now I need to get
Griffins.
Black Griffin. Yeah, I need to get his. So then I have all three of them.
I
But
mean,
yeah, my favorite was uh was Amir and Leslie. So Alistair and Rosie, we met them both. And Rosie in real life, she's so short
uh-oh.
and so cute. But
Wait,
yeah,
what was
this is
that?
probably.
You cut you Amir, and who else did you cut out there for a minute?
Oh, uh Leslie, so Rosie.
Ooh,
They
nice.
they were really fun when I met them. And like Rosie, she's like so tiny and so cute. Like I think she was like my height or maybe like an inch shorter or something. I don't know why I was fully expecting her to be like significantly taller than me, but yeah, it was pretty fun. We took silly photos with them.
Nice. I always like that when I like that the guests that are like very interactive with the attendees. They won't take a silly picture with them. You can tell at a con the type of guests that are there for the fans, and then the type of guests that are there just because they got paid to be there. And you can
Yeah.
significantly tell who's there to like interact and want selfies with the fans.
Yep.
I'm not
Yeah. A
saying
really
I'm not like harping
good.
on guests who I'm not harping on guests who are there for the money, because it's cool that this con got this guest.
Yeah. I think a really good prime example of an actor who is there for for the fans and stuff is Brandon Rogers, because
Yeah. Oh
he's
God,
always doing the most.
he's always doing the most weird batch. I follow him on Instagram and TikTok, and he's just doing the most just out of pocket stuff. Whether it's
He is.
interrupting a fan panel, seeing someone's dog, or just like, oh. And I know he frequents Rose City every now and again too, along with the cast of Critical Role, which I'm like, if we can do what we're wanting to do next year for Rose City, I gotta prepare.
Yeah. 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 Brandon Rogers is really great.
Oh yeah, no, he is fantastic for sure. Now on to what, two more questions. What kind of impact has this had on you doing the cosplay and everything since 2015?
You asked what kind of impact it's had.
Yeah, what kind of impact has it had on you?
I would say a very positive one. Because like I'm still kind of like this, but it was worse when I was younger. But I've always kind of, been an outcast. I didn't have friends really. All I would do is just stay in my room. Um, I do that now, but that's because medical, so it's different. But like, anyway, um, yeah, I just kind of like stayed in my room. I didn't have friends aside from like one person, my friend Tyson, who I'm still really good friends with. But yeah, I'm like starting to go to cons and meeting people, uh, doing new cosplays. It just creates this community, and especially also even more so when I started posting stuff on Instagram, I was able to find even more community and keep in contact with like new friends. And it's just really nice because I was used to just being in my room all the time and not having anybody to talk to and just being alone all the time, to having this great community um, at conventions, and even pretty much just at like a tap of my finger away, because of exchanging social medias and then being able to talk to each other that way. And it's been really awesome, and I have cosplayed with multiple people now, like not just like some of my best friends, but I've done like group cosplays with some people who I didn't know like a lot, but could tell they're not like creeps or anything. Because that maybe they were looking for a specific character for a group that they had, and I would join in on that. And it's just like really great community, and it's so hard, I feel like, to find good, genuine friends out in the wild versus finding them through the cosplay community on like Instagram or TikTok or at conventions, because they're just full of nerds. It's just nothing but nerds. And, whether that is for video games or cosplays or uh, movie shows, whatever types of characters you like with whatever type of media, you're always going to find somebody that likes the same stuff as you. So I don't know, it's just really great. I've made a lot of friends that way. And
It
yeah.
sounds like you've really come out of your shell since, and you're enjoying something you do, which, I feel like no matter what, you should always enjoy the stuff you do in life. It's your life, no one else's. You decide what you do. And you decided to cosplay, and I can definitely see that it's definitely turned into something that you will want to continue doing no matter what.
Yeah, if I'm still alive when I'm like 60, I'm still gonna be cosplaying. It's not going away.
Oh, I hope not.
Heck
um
no.
Now, any last minute advice you want to throw out there to those who are listening or watching this on the stuff we've discussed in the past almost 2.5 hours?
Do no harm, take no shit. If there's people bullying you about your cosplays, screw them, block
Put that
them.
put that on a t-shirt, doodle.
Yeah, throw them out a
uh,
window. I don't care. Okay, probably don't do that last part because that's like actually illegal. But like just uh, it's cosplay. Just have fun. It doesn't matter if you buy it from online or secondhand from another cosplayer, or if you thrift it from things already in your closet, or go to a thrift store. It doesn't matter how you acquire and how you make your cosplay. The most important thing is that you are doing something that you love, and hey, you have fun with it. That is like the biggest things for cosplay. Um, and when we're at conventions, like, we're all there to have fun. We're all nerds. We're all geeking out. I mean, probably 90% of the people at conventions are like introverts, and it's a
oh,
prime time to make some genuine lifetime friends. And and those friends, they'll have your back. So, uh, yeah.
I
And as a
definitely
reminder, always crimp the wigs. Always crimp the wigs. It makes it so much better.
that's some good. Honestly, so that's some good advice. I think that should do it. Oh yeah, one more thing, Cosmic. Where can people find you on social media if they want to stay up to date with your cosplays, your conventions, and all that other fun stuff?
The name that is right here on the screen, cosmic.redfield.cosplay, that is both my Instagram and my TikTok. I am active on both. I don't post as much on my Instagram, but I am active on it. I lurk. So,
Do you have a YouTube as well?
technically, yes. Technically, no. I do have a YouTube channel, but it's such a mixed bag of things posted on there. It's not directly directed towards cosplay, and I don't really use it much. But my name on there, if people want to follow still, because most of the cosplay stuff on there goes to my shorts. They're not actual like the long videos.
Oh, no, I
But
mean,
it's
there's nothing wrong with YouTube Shorts are doing really well,
Yeah,
honestly.
they are. One of mine has like 50K views or something. So that's pretty solid, I think.
I mean, the
But
best thing with YouTube Shorts, you can post up to 3 minutes of video.
yeah, I basically just import my TikToks and throw them on there
And
sometimes.
there's nothing wrong with that. It's like so it's like pretty cool that how big of like a viewership and following a YouTube Short can get.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I posted it thinking nothing of it, like this is a niche thing, and then I wake up the next morning and there's like 50K views, and I'm like, what the heck just happened? But it's always the dumb stuff that you think is never gonna get views that like freaking explodes. I swear. But my YouTube name is Cosmic Redfield, and there's a space between Cosmic and
I'll be
Redfield.
sure to give a follow then. I think that should do it again, Cosmic. Thank you for coming on to Cosplay Con Talk. I know we tried to get an interview with you at Con, but there was so much going on. I'm doing press and yeah. But thank you again. I also
Yeah.
want to thank Potato Senpai for setting up the interview and everything as well.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to come up on here and do like this interview. I thought it was really fun, and love giving advice to new cosplayers, or even cosplayers who have been around for a while but are looking for new tips and tricks. I'm always looking for new tips and
Oh
tricks.
no, I'm always learning as a content creator when it comes to editing. I'm always learning something. It's like, oh wait, you can do this. Well, that saves me like 5-10 minutes.
Right? I don't do a lot of editing on my videos just because I kind of don't know how, but I sometimes will come across little shortcuts, and I'm just like, oh my god, I feel so dumb, and I could have saved so much time doing this. I'll do it next time.
Well, again, thank you for coming on. As always, I'm Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Shout out to those who follow and support the channel. And also, do no wrong and take no shit.
Heck yeah.
Thank you so much.